Tonight, a grandmother is outraged after a disagreement between her grandchildren leads to one stabbing the other. The National Security Minister says the reappointment of Hilary Herman to Bordelais is not ideal in his books, but is currently the best way forward. And a religious leader here says a dark cloud has been cast over churches following shocking news of human trafficking by a Trinidad church. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night, it is Thursday, the 10th of October 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM. You can also watch on our website, it's www.caribbeanhottv.com, or watch on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. An altercation over gold has left a 14-year-old nursing a stab wound delivered by the hands of his older sister. The grandmother of the siblings says there is no room for forgiveness in the matter because, as she asserts, the intention of her granddaughter was to kill her grandson. Solange Alfred begins our reporting.
The 14-year-old victim of a recent stabbing describes the events leading up to the incident. He says after heading home from the beach and taking a shower, he was confronted by his 27-year-old sister, who accused him of taking her gold. The 14-year-old boy says he denied the accusation hurled at him, at which point his sister got enraged and began fighting with him.
She knocked me for a stick in my back. I saw a stone behind her. And then they come, my next sister of mine come and separate. And then she got her home, she take a knife, she wanted to start, they take it from her, she go and take the next one, they take it from her again. And she go and take the third one, when she come back with it, she hide it. She go out somewhere and I stand by the person's house. She like shock the person for water. When she come back out, she stabbed me with the knife.
The boy, who is in the care of his grandmother, says he forgives his sister for the violent act. However, his grandmother, Alex Williams, is not so forgiving.
When we think going to school, that same sister making babysit for her and giving him $5, you're depriving the child from an education to babysit for you for $5, and you're talking about forgiveness. She did not think of that before. She should have think of that before she stabbed him. You went for the first knife, they took it from you. You went for a second, they took it. You went for a third, which means you wanted to kill him.
The fuming grandmother says she wants both justice and revenge.
It's not a bluff joke, because you see, right now there my brain's burning. You see what happened to Kim there? And I can hear nothing, my brain's burning. And look, that one coming and happened there to the child.
So you're referencing Kimberly DeLeon Williams. What was she to you?
My niece. Because we're not hearing nothing. On the 29th of this month will be a year. We're not hearing anything. And a little again would have another one in an October month again. So that there is no forgiveness for that. For me, there is no forgiveness.
Williams says the 14-year-old boy has been put on bed rest and will be unable to attend a secondary school until his wounds are healed. She argues this critical time in the boy's educational development will be severely hampered. The grandmother says she will continue to apply pressure to social services to ensure the 14-year-old boy is made a top priority and stays under her supervision. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Meanwhile, religious leader of the Methodist Church, Reverend Seth Ampadu, is weighing in on the stabbing which occurred between the siblings on Sunday, the 6th of October. Ampadu cautions that an eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. The grandmother of the stabbing victim expressed her view of a hardened heart, which she says is unable to forgive her granddaughter, who allegedly stabbed her grandson. In an interview with Hot 7 TV, she stated her firm belief in taking an eye for an eye. Superintendent Minister of the Methodist Church, Ampadu, says community living will always bring forth conflict. However, he says there must be an end in sight, or else the community and families will live in a constant state of violence.
I think forgiveness is very important, because there is a saying that to err is human, to forgive is divine. You know, as human as we are, we always offend others. But when we offend, we should be in a position to forgive. Because the good book, the Bible says in Romans chapter 12, which says, vengeance is mine. So sometimes we should not take vengeance on ourselves. You know, we need to know that we are human beings, and therefore we will offend each other. And that is why there should be room for forgiveness. So I think the boy did well by saying that he has forgiven the sister. So that is what we need to live our lives, because we are not living in isolation. We live in a community. So once we are living in a community, definitely someone will offend you. So when someone offends you, we need to make room to forgive the person, because to forgive is divine.
Recently, the issue of forgiveness has been a hot topic when younger brother Botham Jean Brandshaw opted to hug Amber Geiger, who was convicted of murdering his brother. Meanwhile, the matter involving the stabbing incident between the two siblings has been reported to social services as well as the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. The matter is under investigation. In other news, Minister for National Security Herman Gill Francis has admitted that he has misgivings about people retiring from organizations and then returning to the helm. The comments were made in light of the reappointment of Hilary Herman to the helm of the Borderley Correctional Facility. The minister says while the situation is not ideal in his book, there can be no doubting that Herman earned his position through the proper channels. Hilary Herman is back at the Borderley Correctional Facility. This marks his third appointment as director of the prison. He previously served from 2002 to 2008 and from 2009 to 2014. Home Affairs and National Security Minister Herman Gill Francis says he's not thrilled about having to recycle leadership in such cases. He says the issue of proper succession planning has to be addressed to avoid such occurrences.
Met with them yesterday, Mr. Herman and the senior ranks of the Borderley Correctional Facility, and that was the first point that I made, that I am not always pleased for persons to be coming back into the organization as the director or maybe commissioner and so on. I don't think that this is right for morale of the officers, but at the time we must understand that there was no succession planning at Borderley, no succession planning really in the police force. We are now trying to see how we can put that structure in, none for the fire service, and this is the malaise that is around. So we're working very hard on trying to create a succession plan for all those entities so that we don't see a recurrence of persons like Mr. Herman having been on retirement to be coming back into the organization.
But Minister Francis says Herman went through the process and came out on top, fair and square. He does believe that Herman is currently the right man for the job.
The post was advertised. Persons came in, and 5 applicants applied for the post of director of Borderley, and an interview was done by the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission then sent the results and a recommendation to the Prime Minister, indicating that Mr. Herman had topped the interview by far, and they were recommending that he be the one to be appointed. So I had discussions with the Prime Minister, and I felt at this time that Mr. Herman would have been the most appropriate person to take over the responsibility of the Borderley Correctional Facility at this time.
Leonard Terrence, who served as the Deputy Director under the stewardship of Vern God, acted in the position of Director after God left to take up a post in the British Virgin Islands. The minister revealed that he was one of the applicants for the post of Director and expressed gratitude to him.
He was one of the candidates. Unfortunately, he did not make it, But I encourage him to continue to work hard, and when the time comes, he may be in a position to ascend to the position of Director of Bottling.
Hilary Herman commenced his duties as Director of Corrections on the 2nd of October 2019. It is not certain how long he has been appointed for. The Minister for National Security said that the length of his contract has to be discussed. CCTV camera footage tells the story of a man on a mission to take what does not belong to him. Caught on camera in an early Sunday morning robbery, the alleged thief rifles through parked vehicles and makes away with a number of items which were inside. The homeowners say the man has been identified due to the high-quality cameras guarding their home, and they are now awaiting the police to take the necessary steps. Solange Alfred reports.
Red-handed. Black and white CCTV footage shows the movements of a man on the prowl for anything of value. A robbery which took place on Sunday, 6th October, has left homeowners baffled as to why the burglar would target their home, which is heavily guarded by surveillance cameras. Homeowner Kisha Minville provides insight into the early morning theft.
Based on the camera, it happened sometime after 2 a.m. Sunday morning, but we only realized that there was a thief in the area on about 8 o'clock in the morning when my husband was going to work. He realized that his vehicle was tampered with, and there were documents scattered all over the floor and tools in the vehicle, they were missing. I was unaware that there was another vehicle broken into because it looked, locked and everything. But it's when we went to replay the camera, we realized that another vehicle we have in the driveway was also, broken into. And nothing was taken because this one just left the garage, so it was just parked. But in his vehicle, the thief left with a bunch of tools, thumb drive, a pair of new slippers he had on the van, CDs, you name it, that's what he stole from the vehicle.
Minville says this is the first time a theft has taken place on the compounds of the home.
Most people in the area know that the house is, it has cameras and stuff, and how would I put it? The effects of the cameras, it's very high tech and stuff, so nobody would not even dare to actually try to assist persons who their vehicles were broken into. But this was the first time we actually ever experienced, this happening to us.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has been dutifully informed, says Minville.
We did provide the footage to the police with the gentleman's ID. I was contacted by the investigating officer to give a statement. I'm hoping that an arrest can be made soon. But as far as it is, this is where it is right now.
Meanwhile, Minville says her family remains vigilant following the robbery. She notes the movement of the burglar seems as one and concerned with time, and says he even took the opportunity to stop for a drink of water before returning to rifle through the vehicles. Anyone with information on the identity and whereabouts of the man seen in the video can contact the RSPF hotline at 45-CRIME. That is 452-7463. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the Minister for National Security rails against what he describes as shoddy work at public institutions like Bordelais and the Forensic Lab. A reverend based in St. Lucia denounces the enslavement and trafficking of people by a Trinidad church. And are you in support of paid lessons? That and more when we return.